Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 2, Episode 244. Last night I spent a lot of time focused on work and figuring out this new role. And I figured out a lot of things. I'm very close to, I don't want to say mastering, but having everything down for this new role. I've got it to the point where I know what to do, how to do it, but I don't know where to send the information. So I got to work that out. Today is an off day. I do have to be back early for a meeting in town. So I pretty much have everything figured out, and I think it's going to be okay. The problem is going to be volume and figuring out how to handle this many thousands of items. So we'll get that figured out, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll have all that done. What I'll do is, obviously today's a day off. Tomorrow I will be supposedly at the office, but I'm going to try to travel tomorrow. If I do travel, it's going to be extremely long day, and I will also have to be back tomorrow for a meeting. So that doesn't make things any easier, but tonight when I get home, I'm going to try to focus hard on the work stuff, and Thursday ask a few questions about it, and then Thursday night hopefully finish everything up, and then by Friday start doing output, and I'll only have until Tuesday to do that output. Wednesday I'm off, Thursday I work, and then I'm off for the rest of the year. So I only have Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 5 days left to work for the year, and the rest of the time, other than the holidays, I will be traveling and making money. So all that is good. The closet for the bedroom that we're going to redo should be here today or tomorrow. And this weekend I will start tearing out what's there, patching, painting, and installing the new closet. So I've got that going on as well. Today is going to be a longer day. Unfortunately, I'm low on gas. I could stop right here at this gas station, but I'm going to stretch it out as long as I can to get as many miles in as I can. So I'll probably wait at least an hour and a half before filling up. That'll take me close to being completely empty, and then I'll only fill up that one time between now and the time I get home. So all that will be good. Right now I'm going to let you go and get situated, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. Just a brief update here. The sun is finally up. Looks like it's going to be a clear day the direction I'm heading. 27 degrees right now. And when I woke up this morning, went to my car, it was completely frosted over. The feel-like temperature right now is 20, and it looks like the high today is going to be about 38 degrees, so not going to be a pleasant one. So almost halfway to my first spot. I'm going to stop and get some gas soon, and I'll be back to update you after my first stop. Alright guys, I am back. So, a few things happening in there. I walk in, I see one machine that has a play on there. I play it through, and I look at it, and then it's still borderline again. So I decide to go ahead and just finish it off. I ended up ahead on that machine about, I want to say like $90 or $100, somewhere in there. So now I'm walking around, and there's one machine I can't check, and I still couldn't check it even on my way out. There was a guy sitting at that machine, but I go through the whole place and I can't find anything else. And just as I'm wrapping up everything, I'm going around the final corner, I see one machine. It's a high-risk machine. It's $9 a spin, and it's in position. And I was actually on the phone with someone who I'm going to have a meeting with tonight when I saw it, and I said to him, this thing is either going to hit huge or I'm going to lose huge on it. And I sat down and started playing it, and it took away my profit and most of another $100. And then it started turning around. The payouts started getting better, started moving in the right direction, and then I finally hit what I was going for, and it pays huge. And I end up leaving the session ahead $2,426. So I really needed that jump start, make me feel better. It's been a slow week, slow start, and this really gets me back in the game again for what I need to do for the week. And really for the rest of the year, I really need to hit it hard to try to make my goal for the year. So we're not going to do anything that we're not supposed to do. We're not going to do anything at the wrong time, but we're going to try to get that goal. So very thankful for that. And then got paid for that. And this casino just converted to all digital. So with the payouts. So everything is done when you win a jackpot. They enter all the numbers in the keypad of the slot machine, the denomination, the amount of the bet, the cage number, the cashier number, all these different things, and then it creates a W-2. They don't even need your social if you've won there before, and it creates the W-2, and then you sign the W-2 on the iPad or one of those things, and they hand you the W-2, and that's it. So pretty amazing. It really streamlined it all, and it has your W-2 with your picture on the screen that they turn into the government, so they have all the information they need. It's all in one place, and obviously that's going to create a lot less potential for error. So got paid that jackpot and took off. I went back, looked at that one machine again. The guy was still sitting there, and I took off. So happy to have a good start, and we're going to move on to another spot. Next place is going to be blackjack. Excited about that, and I'd love to make another $2,400 there. So I'll be back and let you know what happens. All right, guys, I am back. I went into the next place and looked around at all the slots, found nothing in multiple areas, checked every corner that I could find, and there was nothing there to play. So no slots at that location. I moved on to blackjack. I found a $50 table, and I was spreading from 50 to 250. I had counts between a running -20 and a +7 running count, not true count. So my idea was to spread 50 to 250. If things went really well, go a little bit higher. But I ended up spreading 50 to 150 is all I could get in because the counts just weren't there. I played that table for an hour and all bad counts. I did end up with an odd number at the end. I had an odd number of chips one time and got a blackjack, so I ended up with $12.50. And then I had played the $10 in chips. At one point, I still had a $2.50 chip, and I played it on my last hand, and I got a blackjack, so I ended up ahead at the end of that shoe, $506.50. So the $2.50 gives you $4 instead of $3.75 because there's no quarters. So you actually end up with a little bit more EV on those, but you can't exactly bet an extra $2.50 on top of every hand. For something that comes up 1 in 21 hands, it's just too much. So it slows down the game too much as well. So I ended up ahead $506.50 on blackjack. Did not play any slots, and now I am moving on to the next place. I'm being very mindful of the time so I don't run out of time. I need to get back in town for my meeting tonight. So for now, I'm letting you go, and I'll be back. Oh, I wanted to mention too, when I finished up there, the dealer was looking longingly and lustfully, coveting my $6.50, and of course I did not give it to him. So too bad. If you want to make more money, get a better job, My EV is not big enough right now to be handing out free money, so I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. Went into the next place. As soon as I walked in, I checked this one section I always check, and there's a machine that's ready to pay out, and it's at a $3 per spin. So I sit down, put a $100 bill in, lose that, put a $100 bill in, get almost down to $0. I get down to about $1 when it finally hits, and after all the smoke is cleared, I end up ahead 60 cents. So I'm a little frustrated, but that's okay. I push the button to cash out, and it spins the reels again and costs me another $3. But when it does, it sets up another play. And I'm like, okay, push it again, it improves. Push it again, pays me out like $80. So that was very unusual. I walked away from that machine. I had $80 after all that. And then I played one other machine, made a small gain on that. When I first walked in, I saw a dealer from another casino. And he had a hat on, he had a COVID mask on, and I don't know, I guess he was trying to hide, but he had free play, so he claims that he came there to play his free play on the craps table, and he claims that he won $3,000. He always tells me all these stories about how he won $10,000 and $5,000 and all these huge numbers. I don't know whether to believe him or not, but he's always talking a big story. So I said hi to him and kept on going, and went and played some blackjack. I had to just nickel and dime them again. No good counts. In fact, this session, I don't even know if I raised it above my base bet, but just stuck it out and ended up doing okay. Ended up ahead 500 there, and I left just because I got to 500 and it was so negative. I just didn't want to stay at that table. I probably should have left when I was up 200, actually. It was that bad. So I go back and check out the slots on my way out. I see two slots in two separate areas of the casino that are ready to go. One at a very small level, like 75 cents, and one at a big level, like $10. And I'm excited about both of these because they're both good, but the problem is there's someone sitting at both of them. And the 75-cent one was not as big a deal to me as the other one, but he ended up hitting something big on there, and it set him up so that there's no way he was getting up. The other guy, I go walk by him, and he had just finished off the play. I don't know if he knew what he was doing or not, but he got a 5-figure payout. So too bad for me, good for him. That would have been just so beautiful to get that 20, whatever it was, 2100, 2200 this morning, and then get a 5-figure one this afternoon would have been nice, but it was not gonna happen. So that's all good. I talked to a cashier on the way out. I said, these guys had just negotiated a contract, and I said, glad to see you here and all this stuff. And she's like, I'm still very frustrated with the contract. I said, why? I said, isn't it fair? She said, oh, it's fair. It's really good money. It's fine. But I'm still frustrated because they could afford to pay us more. So this is what the world has come to. We're forcing people not to be able to make money. We're saying if you can if you can work hard and make money, you're going to have to split it with us. Oh, we're not going to be happy. We're not going to do good work for you. We're going to talk badly about your company, even though you're paying us a fair wage for the work that we're doing. Because you're smart and you're able to make a lot of money, we want you to pay us more. And I think that's just ridiculous. I mean, if I'm doing you a service and that service is worth $100, I should get paid $100. Just because you made a lot of money doesn't mean that I need to charge you more. That's not right either. So anyway, I am moving on. I don't know why I'm going this far to try to find a parking spot because there's never one over here, but I'm moving on to the next place. And that was perfect. That's why, because I just found a parking spot right by the door. So I'm going to park, I'm going to go in, going to play, make some money, and then I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So Went in that place and searched high, searched low, searched left, searched right, and I found not a play. Not a play in sight. I went through that place 3 different times looking for a slot play, and I got nothing. I went back to the high limit blackjack area, and there was one table, and the guy had just started a shoe. I didn't want to sit down at that shoe since it had already started going. He was about a deck and a half in. I made my second round of the slots, came back. He was only about halfway through the shoe. Made another round of the slots, came back, and they were putting the cut card in the new shoe. So sat down and played, and had some ups and downs. First shoe was horrible shoe. Next shoe was a little bit better, and I finished it off with a decent double down, and ended up getting up after that. There were 2 guys at the table with me. The one guy was sometimes playing one hand, sometimes 2, and the first shoe was just horrible counts. I'm like, it's just going to be the theme of the day, just bad counts all day long. But the second shoe was a little bit better. Got some high counts, but still we were getting, every other card was a low card. So 10-3, 3-10, 4-10, 6-10, and that's the way it went for a long time. And there were a couple deviations that I made that raised some eyebrows, but overall it was all right. The pit boss was a guy I didn't know very well, but then he was replaced with a guy who was a friend of mine, and he didn't give a damn. He let me do whatever, let me spread whatever. You could do whatever you want if you know the right people. And in this location, security is not watching. The only time they're watching is if the pit calls, or if you go above a certain amount of buy-in. So this was told to me directly by the pit boss at a different time earlier. He had said that once it gets to so many dollars buy-in, I think it was 5,000, then security starts paying attention. And just, you know what you're doing, you know what it looks like, and if you know that you can get away with anything until it hits that 5,000, then everything is fine. So I ended up buying in for a total of 1,000 and cashing out for $1,950. So plus $950. Slots, I actually did end up playing 1 slot, lost $10 on that. So guys, did I just make $4,000 today? I think I'm pretty darn close. Might be 100 or 150 away from a $4,000 day. Now remind me again, why am I working a job? I don't know why. I really don't. I do, but I wish I wasn't. So anyway, let's see, where are we at right now? Right now it is afternoon. It is 36 degrees. It is cloudy skies in this area, and I actually have extra time. So I think I have about 45 minutes to an hour of extra time. I could go back to one of the other casinos and play some more, but what I think I'm going to do is head toward home, stop at the next casino, take a look around there. I might get an opportunity that might take a while, so you never know. And I think I might have some free food at this next spot. If so, we'll load up on some good stuff, and then we'll move on from there. So yeah, for now, letting you go. I'll be back. All right, one other thing I wanted to say is I read in this one book that some guy said, whatever you do to the least of my people, you do unto me. Just remember that today. Just remember that. I had an opportunity today to do something like that. So, you know, you got to keep your eyes open. I did not tip that dealer $6.50, but sometimes you find worthwhile causes that you would give more than $6.50, of course. So, you know, there's a lot of need out there. Just be aware of who's a scammer and who's not. Anyway, I decided to not go to the next casino, but rather to go stop by a local ethnic grocery store and get their lunch special that they have in their deli, which is absolutely delicious, mind-blowing, so good. So I'm going to go do that It takes me out of my way about 13 minutes and then back about 10 minutes. So it's not terrible, but I think it's a good use of my time. I'm going to go do that, and then I'll be back. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. Alright guys, I am back. I got a phone call on my way. I'm still on my way to the next casino. I got a phone call from a friend. We talked for about 35-40 minutes, just about old times and stuff. This is the friend that I took out to Vegas to live with his brother, and we just talked about everything over all these years. We've known each other for like 26 or 27 years. He reminded me of early last year, when I was in the hospital. I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything, couldn't go anywhere, and I had asked my wife to bring me a Whopper. I wanted a Whopper from Burger King, and she said okay, and I said it's on sale for this much, just get it, you know. So she comes to the hospital and she brings me a double cheeseburger, and I was so frustrated with her. I didn't want the double cheeseburger. You know, I've got all kinds of painkillers and all these other drugs. I haven't slept and all this stuff, and I was frustrated. I ate the double cheeseburger, and then my friend comes to the hospital and he brings 2 Whoppers, you know, one for him and one for me. And I said, oh, I really, really, really appreciate it, but my wife just brought me a double cheeseburger and I ate that. So he ended up giving it to the nurse, and the nurse ate it. So that was fun to talk about old times. And you know, I'll be back in Vegas next year sometime. I don't know when. At this point, I got such a crowded schedule right now, but I'll be back out there next year soon. Anyway, I am only 5 miles away from my next stop, so I'm gonna hop in there. We're gonna make some money, and then I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm back. That was quite a ride there. I finally got to this place, and walk in, it's packed. I don't know why this place has been so busy lately. All older people. For the average crowd here is probably in their 40s to 70s. So walk in, start looking at slots and stuff, and really don't see much. I end up going to the furthest reaches, the back area of the casino, and I see one machine. I misread it, and I thought it was in position, but it wasn't. But then it did. I did make a profit on it, so I got lucky. You got to be careful there. There's something unusual about it with one of the symbols, and I misread it. So anyway, so I'm walking around. I'm ahead like $40, $45. And I see this machine, and it's similar to the machine that I won big on this morning. Now, this one is in position, but it's a lot lower bet level. It's a $2 bet level instead of a $4 bet level. It makes a big difference on this game, because you can be involved for hundreds of spins before it finally hits. So I start playing. I had 140 in a ticket. Put that in, lose that. 100, lose that, 100, lose that, 100, lose that, and it was going on and on and on. And I was involved in that machine for a total of $700, and I was down about 660 before it finally hit, and it paid out so miserably along the way, and I ended up down about 530, something like that, when I walked away from that machine. So I go check a couple other machines. One of them I'd already checked, and one of them someone was sitting on. So I checked the one again, and I found a small play on there that lots of times I would just ignore. It's such a small play and it takes time. But I played it through. I did have enough time anyway, so I played it through. I ended up making like $20 on that one. And then there was a similar machine across the floor. I went over there, and I found a play at a couple different levels, and I actually did pretty well on it. That got me up to $478. So I'm up to $478, so I'm down like $222 at this point. And a friend of mine flags me down, and he says, well, there's this play, but I would normally play it, but I don't really have that much money. I only have $37, and it's $1.50 a spin, and it's an okay play, not the greatest play. So I said I'll play it through, and if I make good money on there, I'll give you something. So it cost me like $35 to hit it, and it paid like $30. So ended up not really making any money. By the time all the ups and downs were over, I ended up down 227 on the slots, which is just fine with me, because I could have been down over 700 at one point. So I pick up my free stuff, got some drinks and stuff, and I decide there's like a party pit. I call it a party pit because there's a lot of music. It's in the open. Anyone can just walk up and play, and it's kind of a laid-back atmosphere. One good thing about this particular casino and its party pit, as I call it, is the pit is so big. There's like 15 or 16 tables in each pit, and there's like 2 pits. So you have one pit boss watching all these different tables. I thought, this place really hates me when I play blackjack. They really watch me like a hawk. None of these guys out here know who I am. So I found a $25 8-deck hit 17. I know, not my game normally, but I decided let's give it a shot and see how we do. And I bought in for 300. So just my opinion to all of you guys, especially if you're just getting started, when you're buying in at a $25 table, don't buy in for $1,000. Don't buy in for big money. Buy in for 200. Buy in for 300. You can even buy in for 100. Who cares? Especially if they see that you don't have a lot of ammo, so to speak, then they're not going to worry about you that much. And this pit boss didn't even give a darn about me at all. He didn't care, because what am I going to do with a few $100s? I started with 300. Eventually I lost that as the count was continuing to go up. So here, let me back up a little bit. I sit down at the table. I'm thinking it over. I'm looking at the map to see how much time I have. And I've got about an hour, maybe a little less. So I said, okay, I'm going to play. And just as I sit down and buy in for 300, I'm like right next to third base. A Hispanic guy comes up, and he's like staring at the table, and I'm like, yeah, I did the same thing. I'm trying to figure out if I really want to play this table or not. So he said, okay. He goes, I'm going to play. He goes, but do you mind if I sit at third base? I said, go ahead. I said, but if you end up with a bunch of blackjacks, I want a little kickback, a little rebate. And he said, okay. And I think he lost every hand. I think he bought in for a total of like 1,000, 1,200, somewhere in there. But there's 3 different side bets. It's a party pit, you know. So he was playing $25 on the main bet, and 20 on 2 of the side bets, and 5 on the other one, because that's the most that you could play on it. And I think he lost every single hand and ended up leaving. Meanwhile, I hit a hand, which was the King of Clubs with the dealer King of Clubs, which, as you guys know, there's the Super Trilux thing where you can get paid. I believe that one's 270 to 1. If I might be wrong, might be 180, but it's a big one. And then also with another place that I go to, if you get that, that's the jackpot. And the last time I saw it, it was up to 116,000. It's been as high as 250,000. And in fact, I think I've told the story before. I actually hit it exactly the same hand, 3 King of Clubs, when they first got that in, and it was only at 59,000. And the dealer kept telling everyone that was walking by that I would have hit it, but I didn't play it. So anyway, so the count starts going up after this guy leaves, and then the shoe ends. So we start a new shoe. They're cutting it about 1 1/4. I mean, it's not a good game, but you know, I'm only trying to win a few hands here at this point. I'm running out of time. So I start playing again. The next shoe, I dropped down. I was up to about 300, dropped down to about 100, and the count starts to go up. So I'm betting 2 quarters, 3 quarters. You know, I'm just working my way up. And by the time the shoe ends, I've got 525. So I bought in for a total of 500, and I'm at 525. And I'm like, do I really want to start another 8-deck shoe and sit through the pain of, the count being neutral forever and maybe going up toward the end and wasting all that time. So I decided it was time to go. So the way it ended, I ended down 227 on the slots, plus 25 on the blackjack, and I'm moving on. So right now I'm good on time. I'm going to take it easy. I wanted to mention, I wanted to go to get some beef jerky, and the place I normally go for beef jerky, the bridge is out right now. They completely tore out the bridge. They're going to put up a new one, so I can only hit it when I'm going that direction, when I'm going out away from home, not on the way back. So I will have to hit it next time I'm going that direction, although normally I'm in a big hurry in the morning trying to get out and get some table time in. So that's where we are right now, and I'll be back to update you. By the way, we were over plus 4,000 for the day, so I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I had to stop one more time to get gas. I'm just going to continue on to my meeting. I'll still be a little bit early, so no problem. I'm going to take my time, and I may actually stop if I can find a dollar store and get more product for my trips. There are so many things I get at the dollar store. Packs of gum, like 20 pieces of gum for $1. Drinks, some candy, sunflower seeds, peanuts, all kinds of great stuff, and mints like peppermints. Peppermint actually will wake you up if you're tired. So they have some nice, they look like Lifesavers, but they're the generic brand, and you get like whatever 50, 60 of them in a bag for $1, so can't really beat that. Anyway, temperature's still the same, about 37 degrees. Back home, I'm about 35 minutes away from my home area, and clear skies again. So tomorrow I have no idea what's going to happen. I was supposed to leave between 4 and 5 a.m. tomorrow. I'm going to have a very long day tomorrow. There is some EV I need to pick up, but now there might be a wrench in that. I may need to drop off one of my girls somewhere early in the morning before school, which early in the morning is like 2 hours after I would normally leave, so that may delay me. I also have 4 meetings tomorrow, including 2 people that are supposed to be interviewed by the company, and they refuse to hire anyone without my approval. So I don't know what's so great about me, but they want me to interview them for half an hour each tomorrow. So that's really, screwing things up here. How can I run an AP career with work in the way? I want you guys' opinions. What should I do with that? I really feel like I shouldn't have that job at all. I should just go out and be a full-time Advantage player and not do the job. But you have a bad month or two, and then you wish you had a job, but the job barely covers anything. It's very frustrating. Anyway, letting you go for now. Questions, comments, mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you tomorrow.